Hi, and welcome to another episode of Starship Gaming. Before we get started, it's very important, don't forget to subscribe. We need subscribers. If we can't get the subscribers, we can't continue making videos, so it is very important. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and just click that subscribe button right now, like right now. It really helps. And if you like the video, don't forget to like it. And of course, if you want to know when we make more awesome videos, don't forget to hit the bell. Now, let's jump right into today's video. So, today we are going to review a game that I've thought about reviewing for a very long time. And originally, if you've also watched our other reviews done by Steven, he was originally supposed to review this game, but he ran into some issues while trying to play it on a PlayStation 3. If you're not aware, the PlayStation 3 is backwards compatible with PlayStation 1 games. So, what is the X-Files, you may ask? Well, if you're not familiar with it, the X-Files was a television show that originally ran from 1993 to 2002, and then was revived in 2016 and 2018 for 2 additional seasons. The TV show typically follows 2 FBI agents who work in the X-Files. That's the division that basically looks for strange things, to put it lightly. So the show mainly follows Fox Mulder and Dana Scully for the first, a majority of the seasons until we get to the later seasons, and then, if you're an X-Files fan, you probably know what happened, so, yeah. But in the video game, you play as a brand new original agent that only appears in the video game, to my knowledge. Originally developed for PC, the X-Files, or I should say the full title is The X-Files, the video game, or The X-Files game, or, yeah, it's confusing, but let's just say The X-Files game, it's just easier. But anyway, this game utilizes FMV, which is full motion video. And surprise, surprise, it's a point-and-click adventure, of course. Most of the games in the 90s that were on PC and then ported to the PlayStation 1 that had full-motion video were usually, most of the time, were point-and-click adventures. And there's a couple point-and-click adventures that were released on the Sony PlayStation 1. So basically in the game, you play as an agent who is looking for Mulder and Scully after they mysteriously disappear. Now, I'm not going to spoil the game for you, but I will tell you this, it is set within the 3rd season of the show. Thought you might find that interesting. That would place it around the, I believe, 95-96 season of the television show. That was around the time that the show really started getting into the weird part of, that's when the show really started taking off, was during the 3rd season. Of course, this game came out way long after the 3rd season had come and gone. Of course, they had to place it somewhere in the timeline to make sense. Games do that. When you have tie-in games or, anything like that, you usually have that happen a lot. They try to find somewhere in the timeline to fit it, and that's just where it happened to fall at. But there is a date given. April 1996 is allegedly when the game takes place. I'm pretty sure it even states it in the game. So that would be, yes, the 95-96 season. And yeah, it's just one of those games that it's one of those games it's still talked about to this day. It was kind of an odd choice to release it on the PS1 when they did. I believe it was released in 1999. And honestly, it's one of those games that you'll either really love or really hate. It is point and click, which a lot of people don't typically like point and click today. It's often considered an outdated practice. It was something that was popular in the late 80s, throughout the 90s, well into the early 2000s, mostly for PC, but at this point it's it's pretty much out of date other than for like hidden object games. And I really wouldn't consider this a hidden object game. I mean, you do have to solve clues and, you know, all that jazz, but if you consider this a hidden object game, then it's going to be one hidden object game that's going to scare the hell out of you. Because honestly, this game does have some tense moments, and I would put it probably in my top 10 list of best PS1 games. I'd probably put it about number 9. My top 10 list changes all the time, so you'll probably hear me talk about, you know, oh, I'll put this in the top 10 list or whatever in videos sometime in the future or sometime in the past, in past episodes. My list is always changing. It varies on my mood, to be honest. It varies on my mood. But yeah, I'd put this at like number 9 on my list, or close to that, you know. It's definitely in the top 10. I mean, it's a game that there's 2 criteria it has to meet to be, you know, considered something that I like. It has to interest me, and it has to be fun. It's one of those games that, you know, I definitely consider it fun. It is challenging, and if you get frustrated easily, I wouldn't recommend playing this game. I'd recommend playing something like Croc, or, you know, or Elmo's Letter Adventure if you get that frustrated with video games. But honestly, on a scale of 1 to 10, what have we been doing? 1 to 5, 5 being the best, 1 being the worst. I think our scale changes all the time. Let's just do 1 to 5. 5 being the best, 1 being the worst. I give this one a perfect 5. This is, and I don't give it a 5 because I really love the X-Files. I'm a huge X-Files fan. But this is just a legitimately well put together point and click adventure. Yeah, it has its tense moments. It can be frustrating. And honestly, if I enjoy it, I think you'll enjoy it. But it's one of those games you really have to get into to actually play it. You need to, like, honestly, watch the first 3 seasons of the X-Files. I cannot stress that enough, or you're going to be completely lost. You at least need to get an understanding of who the characters are, you know, understand their name, understand the tone of the show. At least watch the first 3 seasons before you go diving headfirst into the PS1 game. It's one of those that I highly recommend. It's one of those cases I highly recommend watching the show, at least the first 3 seasons of a show, before diving into the game, or you're going to be completely 100% lost. I'm not lying here. You'll get lost pretty fast. I mean, yeah, you can understand, you know, playing the game. A game is a game, yeah. But it's one of those games that you need to understand the mythos, and you need to understand who the characters are, their names and whatnot, before diving right into this video game. So yeah, I give it a 5 out of 5. And you know, graphical wise, you can't really say anything graphical wise. It's full motion video. There is you know, pre-rendered scenes and whatnot, but it's one of those games that you kind of just, you get into it. Like, you really enjoy it, and you just have fun with it once you really sat down and played it. And of course, this game is huge. Well, not really huge, but it's going to take you a couple hours to beat, at least, if you do it in a single sitting. I guess what I'm trying to say is the story is huge. It's 4 discs. Yeah, it's 4 discs. Or if it was released on a DVD, it would definitely be a single DVD. But the reason why the game for PS1 is on 4 discs is because of the full motion video. It literally takes up, the full motion cutscenes literally take up most of the space on the disc. So you're going to find yourself going disc after disc after disc after disc, and just, you know, you're going to find yourself, you know, once you get good at the game, you're going to find yourself blowing through it pretty easily. And the ending will leave you completely, you'll love the ending. I'm not going to reveal it, but just play the game. Take my advice, play it, try it. And it's the perfect one to play for Halloween. It's absolutely perfect. Now, well, now that you've heard my opinion, let's see what Steven had to say. As I said, Steven had some problems with it. He couldn't get it to run properly on his PS3. I don't know if it was his copy or not of the game. He may have had a copy that was messed up, but, let's hear what he had to say in his part of the review.
So, yeah, X-Files, PS1. So, like you probably already said, this game was originally for PC, and then it went to PlayStation 1. And the thing about the game is, it has 4 discs. Yeah, 4 discs. A lot of games back in for the PS1 era usually kind of were, like whether it was Resident Evil 2, Dracula Insurrection, or Resurrection, or something like that. Heck, even Final Fantasy 7. This was. So this game was a point-and-click game. 4 discs. It's your job to solve a mystery to try to find the disappearance of Agents Mulder, and Scully. And I'm gonna give you a bit of my thoughts. I mean, I was good to give my thoughts in. Here's the thing. I would love to give my thoughts on the game, but I had some issues with the game, and I will get to them. And it's not like say, oh, this game's just bad. I really wanted to be able to get to play this game. I really, because I originally saw this at a game store when I was in college, and I didn't ever buy it then. But so one thing I usually do is, since I do not have my PS2 with me here, so I usually play games with the good old PlayStation 3. Well, one thing that happened though was when I was playing it, the game, like say on the game, like sometimes when you see the game, it looks like when you go to select something, it looks like Zeus is holding a bar of lightning as your selection action. Well, when I would do that, sometimes it would just look like, say, some blurry mass, and sometimes the cursor would go so fast, it looked like the cursor was just on something. So basically, whenever I tried to do an action, it would just go like say this. I would just go very slowly, and then it's almost this and everything. So that's what. So basically, every time I try to get there, I almost get there. So basically, yeah. And plus, it just looked like I don't know, man. It just didn't work. Right. Mostly just because I was playing on a PS3 instead of a PS2 or PS1. And yeah, I mean, I wanted to be able to get to play it, but, difficulties. But, I mean, the X-Files is great. One thing I wish it had done instead of being live action, I wish this could have been animated. Mostly just because I feel like that could have been more interesting. Cause, I don't know, it could have been a lot more. Heck, I can't even talk about this because I feel like if this game would have been more animated, it just would have been more interesting to look at. But sorry, I didn't get far in it.
So that's Steven's opinion from what little of the game he got to play. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and I hope you have a happy Halloween and stay safe out there. And don't forget to subscribe. It really helps the channel grow. It helps keep us motivated to keep making more videos. If we can't get the subscribers by the end of the year, we really can't continue making videos because we really won't have any motivation to continue. So it's important that you subscribe. So don't forget to subscribe, and if you like the video, hit the like button, and don't forget to hit the bell if you want notifications of when we make more awesome videos. And until next time, I will see ya.